Hi, this is Patty Hodge at Dr. Nurses Rock, and this is one video in a series of 30 videos we're producing throughout the month of April on topics related to grief. And today's very special guest is Dr. Maria Limardo, is a specialist in genetics. She has extensive experience in clinical studies in the genetics of the extracellular matrix, discovering collagen 17. She specializes in holistic healing interventions. She's a motivator, a consultant on medical and holistic issues for radio, television, bloggers, books, and written articles for the Hispanic media. She graduated with honors with an MD, PhD in genetics from Thomas Jefferson Medical College University and in molecular biology from Temple University of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. A candidate for Diplomate in Energy Health Practices by ACEP, which is the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology, among other important study centers. She studied and obtained certifications in the following holistic modalities with the corresponding trainers. Kim Sear, certified in intuitive medicine and quantum practitioner. Harold Moskowitz, certified in golden light healing. Alberto Aribalgaza,
Zaga.
Aribalgaza, Don
It's a tongue twister.
certified in souls kinesiology and multidimensional holographic biomagnetism. Dronvalo Melchizedek, certified awakening of the illuminated heart. Tapas Fleming, certified in Tat Life. Center for Mind Body Medicine, certified in Mind Body Medicine, meditation techniques, certified in trauma tapping technique, TTT. I think you get it, folks.
It's
This woman is
yes, it's a
absolutely,
lot.
she is absolutely qualified to speak on anything that she chooses to qualify to speak on today. And I'm getting a little tongue-tied trying to get this biography out there for you. So if it's okay with you, Dr. Maria, I think we'll just end there and you can tell us the rest.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. Me too.
So this topic is grief, and it's been a ride getting through this month, talking to different people with their expertise, and you bring a very unique perspective. So I'm going to leave it up to you to tell us what that's all about.
Well, with the work that I've done through the years, one thing I could say it's our body. It's a living storybook. And every emotion has somewhere to go and somewhere to live in our body. Um, when I started to work in epidermolysis bullosa, which is a very devastating disease, that finally we are getting some genetic treatment into these people, into these wonderful, wonderful people. But imagine when you tell a parent that the son, daughter, was born with this disease. And this is a disease of the fascia, the extracellular matrix. Well, everything contracts, not only in the parents, but the kids. And you could see how they heal. It is very contracted, right? Well, the fascia is the connective tissue. It's a, let's say, network that surrounds every muscle, every nerve, every organ in the body. And also it's innervated by fluid, but I call it the crystal magical fluid because it brings so much. But if you see this net in your body, which with every organ, with everything you have, it makes sense that when grief strikes you, it gets hard, dehydrated, and you feel paralyzed. Okay. For some people, when they are stricken with grief, they cannot talk. They have some people develop selective mutism, right? Or you stop usually doing the things that give you pleasure. Some people start feeling frozen shoulder. Um, you feel like there are densities in your lungs, right? Because all of this fascia gets constricted, right? In fact, there is an interesting paper by Dr. Schlipp. This is from 2012, and it's from the Journal of Bodywork and Movement Therapies. And he notices that when people are under this chronic stress that could last years, because everybody goes through grief in their own time, in their own way,
Right.
right? And probably that had happened to you.
Yes.
You probably spent, I don't know how many years, if I may ask.
Well, this particular episode obviously started 10 years ago with the death of my daughter-in-law. And so we are all well, thank goodness, at this stage,
Right.
and the boys have grown and life is evened out. And but yes, I mean, even I can identify with some of the symptoms that you're talking about. Obviously, in the very beginning, every time I had a strong emotion, my throat would tighten up and I could barely speak, right? And then I have this ridiculous cough that hasn't gone away forever. Um, I think it happened before even the grief, but the grief probably added to that. And then I did have all these strange muscle things happening to me. I had to go through PT twice.
Right.
Yes, because of muscle aches. And finally, I found a good massage therapist, and he was very helpful.
Good.
Talked to me about the
Good.
fashion. Yeah. But
That's
you
good.
approach things differently. You do things a little differently.
Yes, I do. For me, it's important, the fascia, because it's what I know. And when I started to study this, it wasn't a big deal for everybody then. Now we know how much of a big deal the fascia is. Because, for example, a lot of people, if they have somebody dying, they develop broken heart syndrome.
Yes.
And the heart, it's enveloped by fascia, right? So it's going to make it harden. It's going to be all the heart, it's my favorite organ. Right? There are many things fascinating there that when I studied, we didn't know. First of all, it's more like a vortex. And at the end of the vortex, you have crystals, right? The fascia, it's enveloping this vortex. So no wonder you feel so sad and stricken by grief
Sure.
for so many years. And some people could say, well, this is reminding you of a trauma of abandonment when you were a child or when you were whatever, a teenager. But I think it's more than that. I think it's these reminders in our bodies that cannot go. It's the love that has no place to go,
Yeah.
right?
It could be cumulative. Like we do have all
Yeah,
of these little wounds that happen to us throughout life. And if
yeah,
we don't deal with them in a way that's healthy, I can imagine that they would just hang around until we decide to address them, right? So,
yeah.
so tell us, I mean, this is fascinating. You have all these. initials and credentials and all these things going on. Is there some specific way that you prefer to address these issues, grief or the fascia being tight in some area?
I would suggest everybody to start with something mild like Tai Chi, Qigong, because it works wonders in the fascia, right? But also that energetic movement will allow you to release certain places or energies or emotions accumulated that you didn't even know they were there. In my case, a lot of my clients are, sorry, are people who have the grief of displacement. Okay, I work with a huge Latin community.
Yeah.
So everybody in this country came from somewhere, some other country, some other place, right? But when they come in, none of them come because I am going into an adventure and I'm gonna be so happy. And this is what I'm meant to do.
Yeah,
No, most of them come because in their countries or escaping grief or what have you. But usually it's uh, something that made them move here
yes.
to better themselves. First thing that I always notice is they have a pain under the ribs.
Mm.
And they usually say, I go to sleep, I can breathe. I feel a tightness if I am going to speak English, it's like something here, it's not allowing me to talk. And most of them have never worked. The fact that they have to leave family behind, careers, status, friends, a house, businesses. And that really, that hurts because they come here and it's everything it's uncertain, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Completely. So you would see them with that. And all of them, in some deep level, want to go back to their country. But they have to work on the fact that that might not be possible
Yes.
ever, or it's in a very distant future. And I have things like developing asthma. I have seen people with frozen shoulders because it's like they cannot move, or hip problems, right? So, a mild and very friendly thing they can do is Qigong and Tai Chi. And I tell them, just go on YouTube. There are so many of them
Yeah.
that can help you. And they start doing that work and it starts to release. It takes time. You know, it takes a lot of time.
Sure it does.
But eventually they realize, okay, my purpose coming here is to better my life, better my family, better myself. And I have to come to terms that probably in far future, I could go back to my country and for a vacation or see if I still have a property or family that remembers me and wants to take me under their arm. But one thing is they restricting breathing that all of them have. Some people develop asthma, some really chronic allergies, because everything, it's like it collapses in their lungs, right? And when you see that, and you see the lung meridian in Chinese medicine, this meridian governs the ability to give and receive. And it's also the breath of the spirit. So we can probably fully exhale emotionally, but the body can't fully exhale physically. So it's going to be there. One thing that I applaud everybody that comes and see me is for deciding that the way they are living cannot be no more. They need to do something.
Yes.
They know they came here for a reason. And then you hear their stories, and it's like, I left and I couldn't go to so and so weddings. I couldn't go. My dad or my mom died, and I couldn't go to the funeral. Or something wonderful or something bad happening, I couldn't be there. So it becomes the grief at some point in my experience with my clients. It becomes colored with guilt,
Yes.
and colored with a guilt that I could have done better. I could have done it differently.
Yeah.
But guilt is also there. So the rib cage, which is, it's all protected, so to speak, with fascia. And the diaphragm contacts the emotional body. Okay? We have different bodies, but when you're breathing, it's not expanded. If you look at the biofield, you will see that the emotional body usually takes, for me that I can see colors, it's like a dense, grayish, slimy quality to it. And the fascia mirrors that state. So when I see my clients, I would see the fascia as this rubber band around their body, that it's tight and it's gray. And I could see how this energy goes, it goes in the emotional body, and it looks like a grayish cloud and maybe slime, but it goes and it densifies in the fascia.
Mm.
So that's what I see it.
So for people that are listening right now and they may not understand exactly what it is you're talking about, you, Dr. Maria, are a medical intuitive, and your senses tell you about what's going on in someone else's energy field or body, and you tell that by you're saying you see colors and you see certain aspects that other people may not
Yeah.
automatically see. Yeah. Um, so it's fascinating. And I want people to feel hopeful that, their fascia can be healed, and that there are things that they can do to take control over their own health and their well-being and recovery from grief and other things. So, what besides the Tai Chi or Qigong, this movement, is there other
Oh, yes.
activities?
There
Yeah.
are many, many, many things,
Okay.
many, many things. And if you allow me at the end, I want to give everybody here an exercise for
Sure.
the nervous
Yes.
system. But breath work, it's amazing. If you could do breath work, you could do 4-7-8. If you don't have anyone, you could do pranayama breathing. You could do box breathing. You could just breathe and exhale at your leisure and at your pace. That breathing work, it's fascinating because also it lets you go of images that are causing some grief and which you could, I tell my clients, if you think breathing work is too much and you are not there yet, to be counting and putting your fingers here and then here, or going because you're breathing with grief, just take a simple inhale. And usually I tell them that first inhale is the love for yourself or the love your mom had for you. In the exhale, I would tell them, imagine that you're taking a white fog from your brain and you're just letting it go. And you imagine the fog, it's going out. And then try and take another deep breath and just notice what's coming out. But just by not being attached to the result that, okay, after I breathe this, I'm going to feel better. No, do it in nature would be ideal. But if you're in your bed and you're crying, just breathe and forgive your body for those responses because they were the right ones at that moment. So another one would be myofascial movement. And of course, it could be a good massage therapist. Acupuncture, it's magnificent too, to help you with the grief. Sound or vibration work, humming. You know, I had a client here, and she, of course, was crying, letting go all of these grief. And I said, try to sing with the crying. And she's like, I cannot even talk. And I said, humming, go, just make up a song as you cry. And or not, right? The other one is physical naming of the emotion. I tell them, go in a quest through your body. Imagine you're a small camera and you go right here. And imagine that everything inside your skull could be empty somehow, but you can get in and see what's there and name it and see, oh, disagreement or so sad. And just be there. And then name all those physical sensations. And even if you're thinking that you're making it up, you're not. Your body talks to you always. And if you look at your hand and you say, oh my God, I can even see words written here of grief, sadness. What's happening here? Do you usually stroke the head of the person that you're grieving? Was it a child, your mother, anyone, your significant other? Just notice, don't try to explain. I tell people, don't try to explain anything. Be with it. Then my favorite one is intuitively scanning all your fascia and see places with your mind's eye where your fascia, it seems like your sight cannot go past through it. And you're like, why I cannot go from my hip to my knee? And try to clear those areas. And clearing an area, it's not difficult. I usually tell them just pat it softly and notice if it's a tender area in that, let's say, thigh, and then blow on it with the intention that the energy, it's just going to melt. So just go in with an intention, maybe make it fun, go away or disappear
Right.
or magically just go. I usually, where is my pen? I love pencils because graphite is a crystal. And if you modified one of those carbons, you have a diamond.
Yeah.
They are basically the same with a different chemical configuration or rotation. So I usually have a pen. That's what I write with because I want my words to stay put and have an intention. So I also use it as my magic wand because it's a crystal.
Right.
So I would just go, okay, go away, go away. And I love that. In the lungs, I usually have an infinite symbol in my lungs with my pencil. And I said, can I have a moment to breathe? Can I have a moment of being here without crying, without noticing that?
Yeah.
And I have a clear breath. And I take my pencil as my magic wand.
Well, what I love what you're doing here is you're giving the agency that the patient has or the person has their own ability to take charge of what's going on in their own body and their own mind and their own energy fields. You know, you don't have to rely on per se a practitioner to do these things. If you're aware of what's happening in your body, you can bless yourself and give yourself the opportunity to name what's going on and release what's going on. And I would imagine that if things are just too difficult, that you would have to have someone to support you through the
Absolutely.
process, right?
Absolutely.
And if we let people understand that grief is just like any other emotion, it's temporary, it comes in waves, it disappears, it shows up when you don't want it to, and so you have to be, ready to be able to just almost lean into it is what we're saying. Lean into it, understand that it's there, understand that it's you don't have to let it rule you. You have
Yes.
the ability to take charge of it in some way. And then when you're doing a whole month of videos on grief, you get to meet really wonderful people who do very interesting things or
Yeah, yeah,
healing
yeah, yeah.
people. Dr. Maria, you are a delight, and I'm so grateful to you that you've decided to do this with me today. I'm grateful. And I know that people are going to have comments. They're going to have things to ask of you. So I will put ways for them to contact you in the description. And so you wanted to do some kind of little exercise with us?
Yes, I
Okay.
want to do a clearing of the nervous system.
Okay.
Okay. And I want everybody to have grief in mind. And we're going to use our sense of interoception, which is the body awareness. So just want you to take a cleansing deep breath and without judgment, just feel which part of your body or in your brain is grief, sadness, where the feeling is located. And remember, feelings are frequencies. And when emotion is felt and expressed, this energy is going to move. In the fascia, it's going to relax. But we have to start with the nervous system. So have that intention. And we're also going to completely clear the nervous system of preservative, calcifications, viruses, parasites, prions, heavy metals, pharmaceuticals, natural or synthetic, waste chemicals, any product of petroleum. Take a deep breath. I'm going to ask for all of the souls in this group to bring all of the aspects that are cluttering your nervous system in the specific area that you chose for this to be release, remove, detach, eject, and chill for all space and time. And now I am going to clear the nerve junctions because nerve junctions, nerve junctions are feeding the fascia, the muscle, everything that it's keeping this grief in your body, the tingling that sometimes you feel because you're sad. And when you're that sad and in that state of grief, you start thinking, I'm getting sick. Something is happening to me if I don't get rid of this. So we are going to ask to eliminate any pain, physical or not, by regenerating the nerve's myelin sheet to the highest harmonic frequency possible. Right. I ask to all the nerve junctions be brought up for everybody listening to be restored, rejuvenated, reintegrated to the highest harmonic frequency for everyone listening soul's path in the way of awakening. I want everybody putting down in the comments of this beautiful, wonderful interview made by Patricia. And I bet both of us want to see the comments. What did you feel after this wonderful clearing?
I would love to know. I hope that people will let us know. And I'm ever grateful to you, Dr. Maria. And I do hope you'll come back and be a regular person here on Dr. Nurses Rock and hear what's going on in the hearts of people and help them to move forward. Thank you. So blessings and bye for now.
Bye for now.